How do you think we're going to be playing the back catalog? Now, before we go any further with the back catalog question, I want to say real quick that Microsoft did mention at GDC they had efforts for game preservation, and they were pretty cryptic about what that means. Like they didn't specifically come out and say exactly. They just said you're going to be playing your old games in new ways. Um, but earlier, leaker Nate the Hate, which has been pretty accurate recently, he said he claimed that Microsoft will add original Xbox, the OG, the Duke, Xbox, and Xbox 360 emulation to Windows in November this year. And it's still a rumor, but you know how I always do rumors. Um, I'm going to ask two questions. Question number one, do you believe that rumor? And then question number two is, let's just assume that that rumor is true. If it's true, how do you feel about it? Does that mean that physical backwards compatibility is no longer going to happen for Helix if they're doing emulation to get there? So I'm going to answer first, and then I'm going to talk to the others. Do I believe it? Yes, I do believe that they're going to be bringing emulation to Windows in order to play these old titles. I do think that they've got some legal hoops to jump through in order to make that happen with licensing issues. Like, I don't think it's going to be the entire catalog. I think it'll be 100% be every single first party title. But some of the third party titles, they're going to have to like get other people to like give the okay, just because of like the way that the contracts work when they actually first sign these things. So I do believe it. Assuming it's true, does this mean no physical backwards compatibility for Helix? I think that if they're doing emulation, they don't plan on allowing you to take your old disc and put it in. That's what I think. Rudy, I'm going to start with you. What do you think, man? Both
I
questions.
think that so first off, I think it's true. I've always once the game preservation program that's currently there. Once Phil Spencer, when he was in charge, said, "Hey, like we have to stop now." That was kind of the smoke in terms of like that program and how it was established, and how it ran as we know it today. So I knew that like eventually for them to currently expand the catalog that's there and continue to add more things, they had to change how these games were actually played. So emulation makes sense. Emulation has always made sense for me personally. As far as how, like in a perfect world, I would be able to take a disc from my shelf, put it into my system or whatever it is, and it would pull the digital version from the cloud and have it run locally and be like, hey, this is the emulated version that is there. This is the copy, blah, 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 blah. That's the perfect world. But I really don't think that's I think they're gonna go the way of Nintendo and they're gonna sell me Fire Red for $20. Like that's just how it's gonna be. They're gonna sell
Woof.
me Red Dead Redemption, the Xbox 360 version. It's not gonna be 20, it's probably gonna be 60 or $70, and that's or maybe 40, I don't know, but that's just how it's gonna be. That's how I see it. It's just gonna be another storefront or something else that you can access in the Xbox app.
Carrie?
Um, so I guess when it comes to like emulation, I think that the first thing that we're going to be looking at, especially when we look at the Xbox mode, right? The Xbox mode is this foundational layer to eventually get to Xbox One and Xbox Series as well.
Mhm.
And I think they're going to do OG Xbox and Xbox 360 initially on PC rather than Xbox One and Xbox Series, and that'll be at a later date as well.
But wait a second. Do they have to do series? Like series is already like those games are all play anywhere, aren't they? So they already
No,
have
so
PC versions of those.
let me jump in with
Uh,
that. So it's a little different. So if you say you have like an old Xbox disc, right? Let's use like Jade Empire as an example, right? You'd think you could throw that into your Xbox Series and play it. No, you cannot. You can only play those that are already on their store that are like approved for backwards compatibility, which is only like 50 games on the original Xbox. So most
Mm,
Xbox games you can't actually play on an Xbox Series. But you
mm,
can on an Xbox 360, which is really odd. So you can put that disc in an Xbox 360 and play that game, but not on a
right.
series. Like it's only the ones that are approved, and that's only 50 games through their storefront and approved for
yeah.
backwards compatibility.
No, I
Right.
understood that. What I was saying is, like, they don't need to do backwards. Like, they don't need to do emulation for series
Xbox One and
games
yeah, they don't need to do
because
emulation
they
for
have
Xbox One.
those are play anywhere games. So there are PC versions of those games, right?
So yes, but also
Okay.
no.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, so there are Xbox Play. There are like so. There's a lot of Xbox One and Xbox Series games that I own that are Xbox version games that do not have Play Anywhere. So I
Oh,
would not be
okay.
able to play them without Play Anywhere. I would only be able to play the Xbox version of those through the compatibility layer, which you could argue is emulation. I would not say it's emulation. I would just say that it's done through the same path that the Xbox One and Xbox Series already does in the OS hypervisor, where they containerize the game and then run the game executable that way.
Gotcha.
To Russ's point, and to your point, Bill, where you say that there's going to be this legalese that they have to fill out. I don't think that there's going to be any other legalese because it's going to fall under the backwards compatibility program that they did for the Xbox Series, where they had to vet all of these other games, where they had to go and do all the licensing part of it. So the backwards compatibility program that exists for the Xbox Series, I personally feel will be the same set that is playable on PC. So it'll be that original 50 Xbox games, and then the 600 or so whatever Xbox 360 games. And likewise, I don't know if you'll be able to do it because you do need a special DVD drive on PC to read those discs. But if you were to put the physical disc into your Xbox Series, it would then download the game. It would just verify that you had the game and say, okay, yeah, this is a legit disc, and then start downloading it. You would actually play off the download rather than off the disc. So that's how they would do it. I still think that there may be there may be some weirdo case where Microsoft sells a drive that can work on PC so that you can play physical Xbox games, physical 360 games, physical OG games, if it's in the approved list on this PC disk drive. I also still feel it's going to be like a very PS5 Pro, buy this attachment thing for Xbox Helix to play all of your physical stuff. So really when we think about emulation wise, it really is only going to apply to original Xbox and and Xbox 360, where there will be for sure emulation happening, even though it will be containerized like they already do. But that's basically my viewpoint on it. I do think it's going to happen. If it's November, that's dope. I think along the same lines like what we were talking about earlier today, like Valve really needs to release the Steam Machine now, because come November, when they come out all guns a-blazing, they're going to be like, Xbox Helix, look how awesome this is. And oh, by the way, Xbox and Xbox 360 on PC right now, boom, boom, bang. And it's just going to be like, and then Steam, Valve's going to be like, buy our Steam Machine. It's, a little bit crappier than a PS5 and it's $800. It was like, they got to come out now. They can't wait for that. They can't wait for that sizzle.
Russ, nobody knows more about emulation. Nobody that I know knows more about emulation than you. So what's your thoughts on emulation for previous titles?
I think Carrie knows more about emulation than me, but I agree. So here's the thing: if it's just going to be those 50 Xbox original games, and the 600 is, Xbox 360 games is a fair, like that's a good amount of games, right? I love the fact that I can take most of my 360 games, pop them into my Xbox Series, and just play them right now through that container layer. Like it all works really well. When it doesn't, it sucks. Like the Lego Movie game was one. Like the other day, like I was, I think I told you guys already. I was like playing Halo Infinite. My youngest was sitting next to me. He's like, "Dad, this is so fun." He's like, "I should start playing Xbox." And he goes, "What should I start with?" And I'm like, let's do Lego Movie game, because that was the first one that my oldest son played, And so I pop in the disc, and my Xbox Series is like, no, sorry, you can't play this one. You can buy it if you'd like, for the Xbox One, but you cannot play the Xbox 360 version. Probably a licensing thing. I'm not even really sure. Either way, like that's a game I've been holding on to for all these years. Can't actually play it. But most of the other games do work, and it is really cool. And I'd love to have that on PC. But I would like some sort of way to play my physical media on PC too, even if that's just like a check where like, you have a disk drive and you just put it in there like, hey, we notice you have this game. Let's go ahead and let you just play it right now. Like that's kind of what I would want to do. I don't see that happening, but that's just me like pie in the sky. So I like that they're doing this. It really is going to, for me, it's going to be about the whole ecosystem, how it all comes together when Helix comes out. Like, how is this going to work? Like, cool. Xbox 360, Xbox like original games, emulation makes sense. How are we going to play Xbox One games, Xbox Series games on PC going forward? Like, how is that all going to work? That's like my big question mark here. I like that they're going this route with the emulation, but it feels like a very small like concession to give to the diehards, but how is it going to work as a whole ecosystem? That's like my big question.
Well, the big question is for everybody who's watching right now, and it's actually three big questions. What are your thoughts on Xbox mode? Does what we heard at GDC raise or lower your expectations for Helix? And how do you think we're going to be playing that back catalog? Let us know in the comment section down below. This was just a small part of my podcast, the Nerd Nest podcast. And if you enjoyed it, then do me a favor and click on that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, then I think you should check out the link in the description down below the like button. It's going to take you to the full podcast so you can check out the entire conversation and a whole lot more. If that sounds good, I hope to see you over there. Stay rad, and thanks for watching.